and he's given a year to change, and he doesn't. And 12 months later, the king is talking about how great he is.
And that's his downfall.
And 7 years, he goes through this period of insanity, comes out of it with a tremendous humility. So what is the antidote for power?
It's prostration.
Laying at you, being humble. It's prostrating yourself before the Lord.
Well, Rick, we do have a call. Welcome to Christian Questions. This is Jonathan and Rick. Who are we speaking with?
Hello, this is Robert from California. How are you?
Good morning, Robert from California.
How are you? Good. I'm doing well here.
Great.
Real quick, have you ever received any feedback from how you started transmitting over the internet fairly recently, hasn't it been?
Yes.
Has anybody ever told you how it has come through?
No, actually.
Well, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
It comes through very well.
Oh, good, good.
All the way out here. Very good topic. I've been listening since you started. And one thing I really like is how many scriptures are brought out in your program, really going to the Bible and bringing out what you're talking about from the scriptures. I think that's just great. You see that. I don't see that done as much in some other programs that I've listened to. But anyway, I just wanted to offer something. You were talking about mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
The mistakes that David made, Saul, many others in the Bible who have made mistakes. And there, in Genesis, there were the story of Cain and Abel. Cain, let's see, Abel brought forth a firstling from the flock. He brought forth this sacrifice that the Lord was looking for. And let's see, Cain brought forth fruit and vegetables, and offered those to God, and that wasn't what God was looking for.
Right.
And so Cain essentially made a mistake. And what I really have always appreciated, and this scripture actually gives me comfort, because we all make mistakes, and we regret them. And the Lord, what He really wants for everybody is for the mistakes to teach them, hopefully, to go the right direction. That's what He wants for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And this scripture has always brought me comfort, and I think of it when I make mistakes, because He says to Cain, but wait a minute, if you offer, let's see. Oh, here He says, why is your countenance fallen in Genesis 4:6? If you do well, you'll be accepted too. Shalt thou not be accepted? And I have always appreciated that. See, if you can still fix these mistakes. I mean, okay, you made a mistake, that's fine, but you can do well, and it'll be okay. Try to do okay. I hope I can.
Yeah, well, what you're saying is...
It is early.
Yeah, I can imagine. Sheesh. But what you're saying is that get the perspective and change what you're doing, because there's still time. That's right. And not to be so... hopefully the mistakes are not so horrible that they're almost undoable, but life is made up of mistakes. Yeah.
And we can make the mistakes, and instead of beating ourselves up, say, okay, like God said to Cain, well, if you do well, you'll be accepted too. You know, just change your course. Just do the right thing. Unfortunately, Cain didn't do that. He got mad and slew his brother.
Yeah, that's
he took it further. And so, yes, you sort of reiterated what I was trying to say there. So I'll let you get on with your program.
Well, Robert, thank you very much for calling in at this very early hour out there on the West Coast.
Thank you. I've been enjoying the program.
Well, good. We appreciate you being part of it.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Jonathan, that was a good example, a very good example of the whole idea of gaining the perspective, you know, with the humility, you know, with the example of Nebuchadnezzar, there was a definite learning of humility, and his words at the end are dramatic. You know, he comes out of this this period of insanity, and he says, I lifted my eyes to heaven, and my reason returned to me. I bless the Most High and praise and honor the one who lives forever, for his sovereignty is an everlasting sovereignty, and his kingdom endures from generation to generation. So you have this dramatic difference in his attitude, because before he said,
look what I've done, what I've built.
He says, is this not magnificent Babylon, which I have built as a royal capital by my mighty power, from my glorious majesty? He understood, but it took a lot of very, very difficult experiences. He learned the power of prostration, being prostrate before God. Let's take a look at a few other scriptures that can help us to grasp that.
1 Peter 2, 9 and 10. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's own people, in order that you may proclaim the mighty acts of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Once you were not a people, but now you are God's people. Once you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy.
And when you realize the import of that verse, Jonathan, it really puts the idea of prostration, of humility, in perspective. Because it's saying, look, you were nothing before, and now you're given this amazing opportunity. Is it anything you did? No.
Nope.
So we need to, if we can approach with that prostrate attitude. And that's such a good word, because when you lay prostrate before God, that is as humble a position as you can be in. One more scripture on this before the break.
James 4, 6 and 7. But he gives all the more grace. Therefore it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
Okay, there's a submission and there's a resistance that's required. And in dealing with power, in position of power or authority, we have to make sure that we will submit ourselves, prostrate ourselves before those things that are proper, and resist those things which are damaging, which really come from ego and pride and all of those kinds of things. So there's definitely a process by which we can put power in its perspective. And that process comes from humility, from the idea of prostrating ourselves before God, so that we can learn not to go wrong where others may have gone wrong, where you can look at their examples and learn from them.
This is Jonathan and Rick with Christian Questions on News Talk 102.3 FM, WXLM. Stay tuned.